Never had pants with a butt flap, but
Me either. They're so strange.
I mean, what's
It
the
was-
point? You poop and you're still warm? What if I accidentally poop on the inside of my
That's
pants,
what I'm
though?
saying. Like, oh, gross.
I bet you people with butt flaps in their pants probably smell
What
like
if
poop.
the flap falls into the toilet?
I'm not trying to
Oh
get my
my
butt
God.
flap wet in the toilet poop water.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Super Dope Plus Ultra. I'm Kelly. I'm here with Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
Hey, Kelly, how are you?
I'm pretty excellent. I'm super glad we got to see my favorite boy in this episode. Bakugo for the win.
Absolutely. I think this is the episode I've been waiting for this entire season. And I texted you. Like, usually we don't text about the episodes until we get together to record, and then we'll talk about them there. But watching this episode, I was so excited. I had to immediately be like, hey, did you watch it? Did you watch the thing?
I hadn't.
And you hadn't at the time. And I was like, just make sure you do that as soon as possible. And
no, what you did was you sent me ASAP in caps 3 times. You were like, ASAP, ASAP, ASAP.
That sounds right. So
I was like, okay.
Then we got together today and you're like, actually, this is the sound you made. Yeah, I liked it. And I was like, I don't like that sound.
It's the shrug emoji.
Yeah, I liked it. So tell me, all right, this episode 97, Early Bird.
Early Bird.
I didn't get any kind of indication of Bakugo waking up really early to train or anything. Like Early Bird catches the worm prediction totally out the window, but I guess Early Bird to go on the attack is what that meant. I don't know. Good episode. Why don't you kick us off?
It was a good episode. I liked that they started off like pretty fast paced. They didn't give us a really dragged out recap or anything, which was great. It was really fast, like 1 win, 1 lost, and 1 draw, right? That's where we were at.
Yep.
And we just kind of are in the battlefield with people, the teams are running, and Team 4B is talking about how Team 4A is very balanced. So we kind of just get a quick recap. Jiro is like really good for support. Sato and Bakugo are both really strong. And Sero, it has great maneuverability with his tape in that environment. So it starts off like really quick and fast paced, but then it kind of takes us back out to see all the teachers like commenting about it and stuff, which I mean, I don't know. I just don't really give a crap about them, which I guess is my bay.
Don't be rude to Professor Vlad or whatever the hell his name is, or All Might. That's probably why you kind of hate on these little cutbacks. That's because it's All Might being like, "Oh, Bakugo, I can't wait to see what you do," and you're like,
"So
get out of
here. Looking forward to seeing you." Yeah, you know me. If it's sentimental, it makes me want to vom. So
yeah.
It was cute though that they all get up on Vlad about his commentary again. You know, the running joke, because he says that the only reason why Team 1A won was because they had Shinso. And then it was kind of a bigger group effort. I think Kaminari and Kirishima, they were like, come on, bro.
Oh,
so
man.
unfair, man.
We helped. We were useful.
We were there. Yeah.
But, it's like some kind of unspoken bond amongst the faculty, I guess, that Aizawa has to jump in and be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, sit down, boys.
If this was a real fight, would you be saying that? Would you be complaining about things like that? No, you wouldn't. You'd be dead. Shut up.
True. Very true. So, we go back into the fight and we see sort of what Bakugo's plan was, which was what I had been sort of afraid of. He's like, just follow me. We're going to just make our own opening. Like you said, the early bird, both teams want to be the first team to attack. So Bakugo's like, we're going to just run in there, make our own openings, follow me, back me up, and here's a grenade.
Yeah, the handing out of grenades, I was like, oh shit. Bakugo's
I didn't know you could make those.
Yeah, so does he make them himself? Or
are they full of his sweat?
Ooh.
Gross.
It just got grosser. For a second, I thought maybe he just asked the support class to make them for him, but
makes more sense.
Maybe he is at home just like sitting in a sauna, sweating out into a towel, wringing the towel out into these weird homemade bombs to give to his classmates to throw at other classes.
Yeah. Here's my sweat. Yeah, I don't know. It was a little strange.
But I like the fact that they just kind of throw you into typical old Bakugo, like, follow me. I'm the leader. I'm the strong one. Just shut up and follow me. I'm like, oh God, here we go again, Bakugo. And it just gives you that one little piece, and then it throws you into the action. I actually like the way that they executed on this first half with how they show us the action and give us like the plan piece by piece.
Me too. I definitely think it added to the experience of the episode for sure.
And the setup of the fight too, like they all talk about these three others being the very much the support to Bakugo, and you're kind of just led down the path to believe like whatever Bakugo is about to do. I guess it kind of makes sense given who he's working with. And by the end of it, it's like, no, that's not what Bakugo thought at all.
Right. No, I was really impressed because even Jiro, like they make us believe that maybe the team's not all on board because when we're back into the fight, Jiro's following behind Bakugo and even she's thinking to herself, like, is this even going to work? Like, I don't know if this is going to work out, which kind of makes you believe that they're not really on board with this plan. And they sort of are just like, well, here we go. We're going to just do whatever Bakugo says.
Well, they're following him into the battle. And she's like, I have to listen as I run for, you know what I mean? Like I have to know where we're going. He's like, shut up and follow me. I'm like, Bakugo, you're not helping anything right now. Yeah, Baku bro.
Baku bro. Yeah, I was like, oh, all right, here we go. I mean, I'm like ride or die, so I was still down for it. I was like, all right, I'm about to watch you be an asshole. It's fine. I'm used to it. We're good. So Jiro's trying to listen. And as she's listening, she's just hearing all of these different sounds all over the place. And she realizes kind of a little bit too late that it's a trap and that all of those pieces, she's just hearing all of these different pieces of the classmate we had been talking about last time. Her name is Setsuna Tokage. And her quirk is called Lizard Tail Splitter, which I'm like, come on, does the quirk have to be so long? Like the name, Lizard Tail Splitter, whatever.
Yes, it does.
I guess. And her hero name is Lizardy. And yeah, she set up this trap because she put all of her pieces out there to confuse Jiro so she wouldn't know where everyone was. And the team actually kind of all swoops in really quickly to just like lay down this trap because she confuses them. Then another character named Kojiro Bondo? Okay. What did the Funimation say his quirk name was?
I don't know that I wrote it down. Bondo, he shoots glue. Semendine, I want to say.
Semendine.
Yeah, Semedine, if memory serves.
Yes, that's what it said on Crunchyroll too. And I wasn't sure if that was some kind of weird. I was like, cement? It's not cement, it's glue. Semendine.
Cement. Does that mean we have to Google what Semendine is? Hello, kitty.
I mean, we could.
I guess I have to do it.
All right, real quick.
Semendine. It's definitely a publicly traded company.
Oh.
Since 1948. It's headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. So maybe Semendine.
It's like a glue company, maybe?
Yeah, products, elastic adhesive, epoxy, resin adhesive.
Okay.
It's some kind of adhesive company in Japan that's been around since 1948.
That makes so much more sense because I was really confused. I was like, is this supposed to be like Cementos? But it's not cement. I was confused. And his hero name is called Plamo.
What a stupid name.
I know. They've been like in wait. So Plamo comes out and he just spreads glue all over the place and traps them in this like spider web of glue.
Because
and then
it's also because it's going down Sero's tape.
Tapes.
They've kind of like trapped themselves in there. And
yes.
What Plamo? What a stupid
Plamo.
name. Plamo is like pretty scared going into this thing. Like you can kind of tell, even though we haven't seen any of these characters, that he's like the weak link for this team.
I agree. I also think his character design is very strange. Did you ever play Kingdom Hearts?
I did not, no.
He reminds me of like one of the heartless monsters you would fight against. They were always kind of like really weird. Like they would move really weird and they would have weird faces and stuff. And I just felt like he was a very strange looking character.
He kind of reminded me a little bit of that manga character from a few weeks back.
You think so?
I don't know why. I guess
manga?
I guess I could just be making that up in my brain.
I think so. He reminded me more of the scarecrow looking dude. the flexible one, Honokage, Mudman.
Maybe. I mean, he kind of just looks like Scarecrow from Batman.
I've never seen it.
Jesus, Kelly. American comic books are cool too sometimes.
Are they? I tried to watch the Avengers the other day and I got so bored.
Which one?
The second one? I'd seen the first one already.
Age of Ultron kind of sucks. It's not that bad.
Good, because it was really boring.
Yeah, it's not a very great film in comparison to one of the other 25 Marvel films or whatever.
Give me a recommendation, because I just was like, this is garbage and I can't watch it.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking to do. Are you looking to just watch the Avengers movies? Or are you just looking to watch all of the Marvel movies? Because
of the Marvel universe, I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
I've seen the first Avengers.
Okay.
I've seen the first Iron Man.
So far, so good.
And I think that's it.
Wow. Well, you can avoid Iron Man 3. Iron Man 2 is okay. Guardians 2 is pretty fun. See, the thing is, like, the end game for anyone watching Marvel movies is to get to Avengers Endgame. Like, that's the point. So you need to be like properly invested in those characters before you should jump into a movie like that. At least in my opinion. You know what you should watch as like a good one standalone, because it's not really fucking with any of those other movies. Black Panther. Black Panther is a great film.
Okay, I'll check that one out then, because I want to watch something actiony, and so I was like, I'll put on Avengers, and I was like, I've seen the first one, I'll try the second one, and I was just like, this movie is so boring, and I'm not into it.
It's a very clunky film, and they cut out some scenes in it that kind of like explain some of the more confusing shit that's going on in that movie, but they left all the confusing shit in there instead of like doing a true edit.
Having such a hard time following at parts too. I was like, am I like just not connecting some dots here?
Yeah, there's like some kind of C plot in there where like Thor has some sort of vision, and like parts of it are in the movie where like he's got some weird thing in a lake or some shit, and he has a vision of pulling out crystals or something, and it's supposed to be like a premonition of the Infinity Gauntlet coming together, but it just doesn't really make a whole lot of fucking sense.
It didn't, and I don't like Thor actually. I think, and I don't like that actor.
Watch Thor Ragnarok. Nobody doesn't like that movie.
Okay. All right.
The first two Thor movies are genuinely terrible. Thor Ragnarok is one of the greatest, most fun Marvel movies you could ever watch.
Okay. All right. So I've got some good movie suggestions.
Yes.
What was the point of that? Why were we talking about it anyway?
Because American comic books are okay too sometimes.
Oh, right.
Fucking snob.
Sorry. No, I know. My bad. So the third teammate is waiting to cut up all of the poles that have all the glue on them. And I guess their overall plan was to trap them all with the sticky glue and the falling debris. And that character, I think, had the coolest hero name out of all of them. His name was Togaru Kamakire, and his quirk is called Razor Sharp, and his hero name was called Jack Mantis. And I thought that was a really kick-ass hero name. I was like, bro, you winning. Super dope. Yes.
Jack Mantis sounds like a fucking 1950s movie star who was in a bunch of movies about racing cars real fast and riding motorcycles and blowing shit up.
Absolutely. And everyone would just be like, they'd be like, Jack Mantis. Like, you know what I mean? In the film.
Jack Mantis. I thought you were dead.
I'm Jack Mantis. I never die.
Jack Mantis, motherfucker. Oh shit, did I make Jack Mantis a black dude?
I mean, whatever. He's green, so who knows? But I think he was like the coolest. I was just so impressed with him. I think his character design was cool, and I loved his hero name, and he sliced up all that shit real quick, and I was just like, ooh, I like that one.
I did like him too, for whatever reason. But then I remember I didn't catch it on the second watch through that I did before we recorded today. I remember thinking, man, I wish that guy didn't say that afterwards. Does he say something later on that's a little bit creepy? I feel like he might, and I just can't recall on what it is at this moment. But I remember thinking, yeah, Jack Mantis, that's fucking cool. And then I was like, ooh, Jack Mantis, I wish you hadn't said that.
I don't remember, but it's very possible. He might have said something a little weird.
To watch it a third time, I guess.
Third time's the charm.
Yep.
Well, at this point, Sato's like, I'm just going to have to sacrifice myself to save my teammates. And he's waiting. He's prepared to just crush all the debris away. And Bakugo swoops in with a big explosion and just blows all that debris away. And I was so impressed. And this is one of my favorite little spots, too. a little quick little moment, is that if you watch again a third time to try to find whatever it is Jack Mantis said, pay attention to Sato's face at this point when the explosion happens, because he makes the most comical face I've ever seen in my life. It's so hilarious. As the explosion goes by, he's like, oh, it's just hilarious. I loved it. It was so
like,
funny.
Oops, I just crapped my pants kind of face.
Yes, like I wasn't expecting that, and you just startled me. It was really funny, and I liked it a lot.
I love that moment. I love that. Well, I loved it, and I kind of hated it because I wanted to see Sato step up and do the thing. But
yeah,
the reason he wasn't able to step up and do the thing because Bakugo launches off that huge explosion. Bakugo reminds me a lot of Iron Man with how like he moves around with his explosions in his hands. Kind of reminds me of Iron Man's propulsor technology that he shoots out his hands. So when he's bouncing around like that, it kind of reminds me of Tony Stark a little bit. But so it is just that big old, not going to worry about this pipes and glue and tape about to fall down and crush.
Get it out of here.
Jiro and Sero all set with that.
Yeah.
And he swoops in, takes care of it, bounces off a few things. Like I think he's trying to get Jack Mantis at that time.
Yes, I think so.
And he just goes right back to fighting like it's no big thing. Like you think he leaves and then he's back, and he's everywhere at the same time in this match. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, no, he was really awesome. And actually, right after that, maybe this is why you didn't like Jack Mantis, is that the reason why he goes after him is because he tries to attack Jiro. And Bakugo swoops in, kind of kicks her out of the way, which was like a little rude, but kicks her out of the way and like blasts him. And we get a really cute shot here of both All Might and Midoriya. Do you remember this part? Oh my god, the music.
Win to save people to win.
So beautiful.
It was awesome. And then Monoma's having a heart attack, like, oh, my eyes. Oh, did my eyes deceive me? And Denki and Kirishima are like, no, he's not that bad. He's actually a cool guy. And Denki Kaminari's like, yeah, he saved her with a kick.
With a kick.
Oh man, very cool exchange. But that whole idea, save people to win people save people to win to save people, right? Isn't that almost a little bit like Deku's thought process in the entrance exam when he's first trying to get into school?
Yeah.
So that's one example of like the Deku parallel a little bit. I guess one of my main things with this episode is Bakugo has some very evident character development. His character has grown.
Yes.
His personality, as he says at a couple of points throughout this episode, and other people remark, his personality has not changed at all.
I appreciate that.
And I think it's worthwhile to point out, because I think a lot of times people will just automatically group those two things together. Like if you have a good character, you must have a good personality. Strength of character does not always dictate the quality of someone's personality. He's still an abrasive douchebag, and he's going to scream and yell his mind about, whatever he thinks is right. But his gauge on what is right and wrong, and in this case, it shows by how he treats his teammates, quote unquote, or I guess in this case, it would be more like respects his teammates. How he respects his teammates is more indicative of the growth of his character, not a changing in his personality. As we get the flashbacks to them beginning to strategize at the start of the match, cut in between all these action sequences we're talking about, it kind of gives us his speech piece by piece. And how they're going to be, real aggressive going out, and how follow Bakugo, and you're like, Bakugo, you're still kind of a butthole. And then you see the second half of his speech where it's like, if you're in trouble, I'll save you. And it's like, oh God, fucking deflate the ego. Kid.
Yeah.
The fourth line of it is, and if I'm in trouble, you save me. And like, he says it knowing that they'll be able to. He says it in like a trusting tone, and the trust he's able to put in his teammates, their ability, even though they're very much called out by everybody in this episode as like support staff to Bakugo's awesome talent. Even if that is the case, and he is exponentially stronger than the other three, he trusts them enough to do what they have to do to protect him, and he will protect them. And it was such a beautiful moment to see the final moments of that speech he gives them.
I agree. I love how they like had it draw out too, because I'm such a Bakugo fan, and I was definitely really worried that they were going to have him just have his usual kind of like spiel where he just is a jerk and everyone just has to do whatever he says. And I was not looking forward to that, so I'm really glad that it was not like that. I also really liked that Kaminari and Kirishima were like, being in the band really helped, huh? Like it was all just the fact that he was the drummer in the band that made them all get along. I thought it was so funny.
It's kind of completely accurate, though. And
I just think so.
As somebody who's played in many bands, you are only as good as your drummer is.
Yes.
You can be the greatest guitar player in the world. If your drummer sucks, you suck.
Because they have the whole tone, the rhythm of the band really is from the drums.
Well, like they're the foundation of everything. You know what I mean? Like if a drummer doesn't set down a solid path or a solid tempo where everybody can kind of latch on and stick to it together, the band is fucked. And Bakugo being more of a lead guitar player previous to this, at least in my brain, he fits more of the bill of a lead guitar player. I'm all ego. I'm so good. I'm so flashy. Him becoming a drummer was like the greatest thing that could happen to him because nobody wants to sit there and just listen to a drummer do his thing unless it's a very quick drum solo. One time I saw the guy who whoever the fuck was playing drums for Dio in 2003 did like a 10-minute drum solo. I wanted to kill myself for completely different reasons than normal. Don't give us a 10-minute drum solo, you prick.
A long time.
Oh my God. There was like strobe lights and shit. I had the worst headache from both the drums and the strobe light. My point is he realizes that even though he could be something on his own, whether that be, you know, super explosive little drummer boy or not, he's better with the people around him. I think I've lost the band analogy here, but
he's better with the band.
He's better. Yeah, and the band can't do shit without him in this case because you need the solid backbeat, backbone. This band analogy is straining my brain, man. The other thing I wanted to point out, because I had the band thing written down and circled, so I tried to think about how to talk about that, but it just went how it went. Bakugo's, he makes a comment about like his motivation. Like my motivation's always been there. Here's my question. I think maybe the second thing he picks up from Deku, I don't necessarily know that this is the case. Maybe I'm reading into it a little too hard, but you know, where you don't have an opening, this is his approach to the fight, where when you don't have an opening, you create an opening. And I feel like that's when Bakugo's motivation comment comes in or around there. And it's like Bakugo's always been this kid who didn't really have to try as hard as he could have because he's been blessed with superpowers that, you know, rival that of already pro heroes. Now that he's in a position where this kid who he mercilessly picked on throughout his entire life is, you know, been anointed the successor of his favorite hero and has been making, you know, huge leaps and bounds in terms of his own growth in being a hero. It like really, apparently off screen, mostly lit a fire under Bakugo's ass. No pun intended, except pun fully intended.
I mean,
for him,
it's there.
Yeah, it's already there. For him to become this much more doing it again, explosive warrior who can just, I don't know, let off much bigger explosions all of a sudden out of nowhere with much less stamina drain. I think that's really what we saw him do in terms of like new physical abilities today. Not really new, but
he bigger was bopping all over the place.
And he didn't like seem by the end of that match, it seemed like he could have gone for another fucking 15 minutes, no problem.
Oh yeah. He actually, after that thing with Jiro, where he saves Jiro and then he's running after the other one, you know, he's like, oh, I'm only just warmed up now that it's winter. It sucks being in the winter. I'm only just finally warmed up. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, Bakugo.
And he says that as he drops Glue Man and Sato gets him in an arm lock.
Yes. Arm bar. Yeah, for sure. I was like, all right. And they comment. Yeah, they're like 2 students down in an instant. Like, what crazy teamwork. It was really impressive.
All out attack from the beginning. Create your own opening. Deku made his own opening. Button.
Yes. You know what I just realized? We kind of have the storyline a little bit off because when he was going after Bondo, there had been the 4th teammate waiting silently, like without moving or making any noise.
Welder man.
Welder. Yes.
I fucking like that guy.
Yeah, he was okay. I wrote his name down. It's Yosetsu Awase. Yeah, weld/welder.
Don't
And I
like
thought
him.
that was funny because I used to always say welder instead of wielder. So I was like, huh.
I forgot about that. Good
I didn't
callback.
forget.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool moment where he gets all trapped up
Yeah.
and Sato has to sugar rush
Save
Bakugo out
him.
of there. And that's when we get the payoff of if I'm in trouble, you save me.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, Sato, that's great teamwork. You are very
Hell
useful.
yeah. Sugar rush. Yeah, it was wicked cool. At this point, because we have two people already wrapped up, it's the welder guy and the glue guy. Definitely the other two 4B classmates are kind of panicking a little bit, and lizard girl.
Yeah,
Togake.
she was such a letdown. I don't know how different it might have been in the manga versus the cartoon, but like last week they hint that she's the person to beat or whatever on the next team. They don't give us any inclination as to what her quirk is, and I'm like, ooh, this is going to be fun to learn about. It's an interesting quirk. It kind of reminds me
pretty cool.
It reminds me a little bit of like some Deadpool or some Wolverine regeneration healing factor shit, except it's done by way of a lizard. So I get that as well. It's interesting to see how she uses it. And she can split her body up into so many more pieces now or whatever.
50 pieces.
Up to 50 pieces.
That's crazy.
And like how she uses it to, confuse Jiro. So Jiro's earphone jack and hearing Matt Murdock shit. It's like the fifth Marvel reference in 5 minutes. It was interesting to see how they did it and how she used it, but it's not like, maybe it's because the episode wrapped up or this fight wrapped up in half of an episode, but
yeah. Because her quirk is pretty cool, and it reminds me of Buggy from One Piece, who's like this clown who ate the slice fruit, and all of his body parts can like slice into a bunch of pieces and move around independently of each other. So it's a very similar type of thing.
Pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. And while all of this is happening, like all these fights and stuff, Sero is like watching her little body pieces move around. And he's got like this little inner thought montage about how he thinks that the pieces, she had to split up into so many pieces, and regenerating them is a lot of work. So she'll probably call some more pieces back to her body. And so he tapes the grenade to one of the pieces of her body, and it flies to her. So she's like, oh shit.
Tape bomb. You got tape bomb.
Yeah, for real. And runs into Bakugo, who had just, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting this. Right before that, he had used a new move called X Catapult. Do you remember that?
When he does the X Catapult, when he whips her around, is it her around or is it, I forget who he whips around.
I think that the
might be Welder Boy, right?
No, it's Razor Sharp Jack Mantis.
Oh yeah, Jack Mantis, badass Jack Mantis gets his ass
X-catapulted into a wall.
We're into the chokey.
Yeah,
that was when I think that's when I got the chills.
That was such a cool move. Yeah.
It's like such a perfect alignment. Like the animation this week is beautiful.
Great.
This episode was so goddamn clean. As like we said the same thing about the Ida stuff last week, but like you kind of have some room for error with the Ida stuff because it's all moving at super fast speeds.
Right.
This one, not as much. It's a much more I don't want to say grounded fight because we do have Bakugo bouncing around throughout the air and shit. But this is a beautifully animated episode. When that cue and the X catapult and you're like, yo, what? And then the music and then everyone's like, holy shit, Bakugo, you're the best. It was just such a pure anime moment. I just got chills reliving it in my
It was so great. No, it was so great. He's the best. So he X catapults that guy into the wall, and then, I keep missing her name because we barely even had 20 minutes with her, not even. Togake. She's like, yikes, got to avoid this bomb. But Bakugo's right there, and he's like, she says you've changed too much. And then that's when he says all that stuff about how he hasn't changed and that his motive has always been the same, which is to surpass All Might and be the number one hero. I think it's really interesting that he still says it's to surpass All Might because I don't think that that's the case anymore. Do you?
So I like that he says All Might. And the reason I
Hmm.
like it is because he's never going to be able to do that. Not because All Might is so much more powerful than him or anything, but
Hmm.
because the high regard in which he held All Might as a child,
It's true.
it's elevated beyond reality.
Idol status.
Yeah, it's a child's memory of his fucking superhero idol growing up and him wanting to surpass that. So like not only does he have it going against him that he's not All Might, he doesn't have one for all. I just don't think even if he does get to a point where he is legitimately more powerful than All Might was at his peak, I don't think that'll happen. But even if
Mm.
that were to happen, in his own mind, he probably still won't be, above All Might. Like it's like an eternal peak or summit for him to try to ascend to. That
Right.
his memory or his feelings, his sentimentality around All Might is never actually going to let him get there.
Especially since All Might was forced to retire. So there's no point where he'll actually be going up against All Might. That's like another thing too. I
That's
feel
true
like if
too.
All Might was still active and really strong and still the number one hero, maybe he could surpass him in a way. But because he was forced to retire and there's absolutely no way they can actually ever go up against each other. It's like
Yeah.
an impossible dream
Yep. It's your reason and my reason put together.
combined.
Combined.
As
Fusion
you would
dance.
say, do the fusion dance.
Ooh, you got a Dragon Ball Z reference in all your
Listen, you mention it a lot.
Dragon Ball Z or
Fusion
Fusion?
dance.
Yeah, because
The
the
fusion
Fusion dance. Yo, there was a fucking Ford Fusion commercial that featured Dragon Ball characters like 10 years ago. Don't tell me the fucking Fusion dance ain't like semi on the fringes of the mainstream.
Okay. If you
Reg-
insist.
Regular old nerds who don't like anime know what the fuck Goku and Frieza doing that shit on Namek means. They know what 5 more minutes means, don't they? Don't they, Kelly?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
You get the fuck out of this podcast. I'm upset.
All right. Sorry, I'll go.
Goodbye.
No, just kidding. But honestly, I could just go because I feel like the rest. This is why I was not happy with this episode, is because I feel like the first half of the episode was like so action packed and amazing. And then personally, I feel like the second half of the episode had absolutely nothing happen in it.
Yeah. I kind of understand what you mean.
I took 2 notes from the second half of the episode.
What were your 2 notes?
One was All Might Too Little Too Late. And then
All Might Too Little Too Late. I mean, in terms
Don't
of
you
his
think
response
so?
to Bakugo?
Don't you feel like it? I felt like it was like such a little thing. Yeah, because he was like, I got chills. And Bakugo was like,
You gotta catch a fucking cold. Yeah, that's actually one of my notes as well, was actually that line of dialogue.
Too little too late. And then
Wait, no, back it up. What do you mean too little too late? What do you mean by that?
I just feel like All Might had plenty of opportunity to be more supportive of Bakugo and didn't do it. And I'm not saying that it necessarily is too little too late. I just feel like in a way it's kind of like, you gave me chills, Bakugo. Like,
Kelly, All Might has been kissing Bakugo's ass since like the fucking 3rd episode when he's saving him from the sludge monster, when everyone's like, holy shit, if you were anyone else, kid, you'd be dead. But you're this strong, hero or potential pro hero who's going to go to UA high. Like
that was just my note, so I wouldn't
ass kissing of Bakugo starts in like episode 3. This is episode 97. Should he have started it in episode 1, you think?
I'm just saying, I think that it was just my note so that I wouldn't forget what was said. One, but I just feel that way about it. But that's just my opinion.
I got chills. You got a cold, bitch?
Yeah, why don't you go get some? What is it?
Go get a jacket, motherfucker. It's wintertime. It's cold out here.
Or a scarf. Yeah, you're all skin and bones now, bro.
Right, you look like a GD zombie.
Yeah, no, it's creepy.
Layer up. Where's your under long johns? Where's your long
Under
johns?
Armour?
Where's your Under Armour and your long johns?
With the little butt flap.
Okay.
Those are weird.
You can have a butt flap, I guess. I've never had pants with a butt flap, but
me either. They're so strange.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point? You poop and you're still warm?
I guess. So you don't have to take the whole thing off.
What if I accidentally poop on the inside of my pants?
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, gross.
I bet you people with butt flaps in their pants probably smell like poop.
What if the flap falls into the toilet?
I'm saying. Super saying. I'm not trying to get my butt flap wet in the toilet poop water.
Gross.
Ugh.
My butt flap.
I feel gross. I gotta go do my laundry, take a shower at the same time.
The other thing I wrote down too was about Midoriya. So he like, because Midoriya and All Might both were like, oh my God, Bakugo, you're so amazing, right? And Bakugo is like, just out of reflex, I guess, really, but he's just like, move, scum! Like, oh my God, beautiful. I love their interactions.
He's like, dude, I'm way over here, though. I'm not even in your way.
Yeah. And so they have like their usual back and forth where they're like, look how strong I am. Oh my God, so strong. Like, catch up, bro. Totally going to be the strongest. Remember, it's like classic, their conversation. But what I wrote down is that, okay, the reason why people, I think, kind of feel like the two of them have like chemistry is because during moments like this, they've got this like romantic music playing and they've got this soft pink lighting in the background. And I'm like, bro, Bakugo just did all that basically just to show off for Deku, just to be like, yo, Deku, look at me. Like, I'm amazing. And now Deku's like, I gotta be really amazing too, because I can't let Bakugo down. So I'm just saying that that's why people are into that. Because they animate it like this. Like, you don't have to be putting that soft lighting in there. You don't have to be putting that music in the background. I'm just saying.
Good catch on that production stuff. All Might said it at the end of season 4, right? Season 3, whenever they have the part 2 fight. I think it's season 3.
Oh, that they can be kind of more like,
now you guys are proper rivals.
Yeah.
He also says in this one, like, man, that's a really great childhood friend you have, Deku. And he's like, fuck you, nerd, I'll kill you, get out of my way. Like,
could maybe be more polite.
Do you think maybe All Might doesn't have very many good friends?
I do think so.
Like, his best friend is like Sukayuchi, who just uses him as like a resource for the police station, and Gran Torino, who was like guilted into taking care of his dumb ass after Nanashimura passed away.
Yeah, it's kind of a little sad.
All Might, and you think about it, the first time we see, he's got David Shield in the movie, but I don't know if that's canon. That's not canon.
I've also never seen that movie.
Yo, you haven't seen the first one? No. You know whose birthday is coming up? I think it's actually the next time we record is 9 from the second movie.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
We should maybe watch that one. I don't know. We did a podcast on it, right?
Well, that was you and Feds.
Oh, maybe I'll release that one in the feed for Homeboy's birthday or something. Who knows? Either way, I don't think All Might has had very many positive relationships in his life. The first time we see young All Might, he's like running up to Nanashimura being like, hey, I'm a loser, but could I be a hero maybe? Poor kid's never had friends his whole life. Now he thinks Bakugo is like, validate me. Now he thinks Bakugo is like the gold standard for having a friend.
Look at it. He didn't blow you up this time. Great job.
Wow, great. That's a character improvement. Character development versus personality improvement.
Yes.
His personality still sucks ass, but the character, his decision-making process for the reasons of taking care of others, a marked improvement.
I honestly love that because I think one of my least favorite things in TV, not necessarily just in anime, but I really dislike it when a character gets a redemption arc and their personality drastically changes. I'm not saying that people don't have personality changes because they obviously do. People change constantly, but you can still more or less be yourself and have had a redemption arc and be a better person while still being yourself. And I feel like a lot of TV will have a character have a redemption arc, and then the character will just all of a sudden be like a wicked goody two-shoes character that doesn't behave in any of the ways they used to, and I don't like that. So I'm glad that they didn't really have that happen here.
Bakugo's got a little bit of that Wolverine going on. That's like the 7th Marvel reference for today.
Haven't seen it.
He's not a thing that you see. Wolverine's a character that you know. So if you don't know Wolverine,
I do know who he is.
All right. Well, there you go. He has done 1,000,001 heroic things throughout his very long tenured hero career, cursed fucking life of not being a man who basically can't die.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah. He basically is got like this
immortal.
No, he's not immortal. He could be killed. He eventually does die, but he just has this healing factor.
Spoiler.
I'm
just kidding.
Okay.
I'm never gonna watch it.
He basically just has this healing factor that any kind of injury automatically is just like healed very rapidly. Any kind of sickness or cancer or anything, like it doesn't survive in his body. His body heals it. So even like when he's been ripped in half, you know, at the waist, thrown 10 miles apart by the Incredible Hulk, he still manages to live and get his body back together and wild shit.
That sounds honestly disgusting.
Yeah, my point is Wolverine's seen some shit. And he is a good man in terms of the character. Like I guess character development, like lots of good instances of him being like a mentor to younger mutants like Kitty Pryde or Jubilee, Kurt Wagner to an extent in the early Claremont stuff. But he is somebody who, even though he had this redemptive kind of arc and he's not like a killer for, I don't want to say hire, but a killer for the Canadian government X Factor anymore. He is X Factor.
What is the X-Men?
Weapon X, that's what it is.
X Factor would have been way cooler because I was like, oh my God, the TV show X Factor.
there is a X team named X Factor, and there's an X Force, and there's X-Men, and there's Weapon X program that Wolverine was made and designed by and was used as a killer for them for years. Anyway, my point is, even though he's become a better person, he still has this really mean, brutish, rude personality and can be very short with people and very intimidating, kind of like what we're talking about with Bakugo here. Even though he's become a better person, seemingly, he's still a fucking asshole. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. It's what I love about him. Sorry, I'm just kind of trying to pet him off screen so he doesn't bother us.
Hello, kitty.
Cat. Hello, kitty. I mean, honestly, after that, we get like a weird monologue from Monoma that I barely listen to because I hate him. Every time he speaks, I just can't even pay attention. He's like...
I liked him in this episode.
Did you? He irritates me.
At least for that last part, because he's very considerate of like what they're going to do for next week's plan, and they kind of have a little strategy session. Both teams are very much making Midoriya the focus of their plan. So
yes, I mean, I think for good reason. He's very powerful.
One of my favorite moments though is when they're kind of doing the inventory of what they've got, and Achako, Mina,
yeah, this was
Mineta,
wicked funny.
Like, we make things float and melt and stick. We're fucked.
Yes, that was so funny because they did it so happily. They're like float and stick and melt.
Yeah, I grabbed a screenshot of that one today. I finally did the thing where I watched it on my phone and grabbed a bunch of random screenshots.
Oh, so fun. It was so
shit
funny.
To post throughout the week.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Because I don't rewatch it too many times.
Go follow us at Super Dope Plus Ultra on Instagram.
Yes, you can chat with me. Yeah, that part was really funny. I also liked sort of seeing a glimpse of the other team really quick before. I hope they introduce us a little bit more in depth because we didn't get any of their hero names, but we do get to see obviously Shinso and Monoma, whose quirk is copy. They talk about him having a blank. Did they ever mention this before?
No, but I imagine they have to. And again, you've read the comic. I haven't. I've never seen, or I don't recall him having this blank thing.
I don't think they've ever mentioned it before. That's why they brought it up.
But that has to be what happens with when he tries to copy Midoriya's quirk, I imagine.
Yeah, probably. So it's like sometimes he tries to copy a quirk and it might just not work, and they call it a blank. So
yeah, and I think it's notable that next week's episode is called That Which Is Inherited. I imagine that has something to do with One for All. Monoma did not inherit One for All, so he cannot copy One for All. You cannot copy that which is inherited.
That is a really good way to interpret that title. Yes.
My Hero Academia.
Nice. Some of the other people on the team, because they don't show us everyone, but we do get to see Nirengeki Shota, who has like a little monocle, and his thing is called Twin Impact.
It's a scouter from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
Even his armor design, it looks like Saiyan armor from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, fun. I was like, what a weird little monocle. What is this?
I hope you read the motherfucker's power level next week and it blows up on the side of his head.
Okay. And then we also see Riko Yaneki. I cannot say this one. Riko Yanagi.
Hell yeah, you said that one.
All right, said it. And hers is Poltergeist.
Ooh.
So there's one other teammate. She's wearing like a red outfit, but we don't hear from her. We don't know who she is or what her quirk is yet. And we don't get any of their hero names. So hopefully they tell us in the next episode. If not, I'll just Google them because I like to know. I think it's interesting to know.
Yeah, you blew the surprise for a couple people though last week posting what you did.
Oh yeah, I know. I thought about that afterwards. I was like, wait. I mean, that was shared by the Crunchyroll official page like a few weeks ago.
You're admitting to two incriminating things in the same 10 seconds. So not only did you
afterwards, I was like,
some
wait,
shit,
not everyone
ripped
knows
off
this.
Crunchyroll to spoil some shit. Okay,
Yes,
I see you, Kelly.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So
I
was like, if they posted it, I can post it, right? Right.
Except I was scrolling through Instagram and I was like, fuck, who posted this? And then it was you. And I was like, fuck.
It was me.
You got me. You got me
Add
with
it
a spoiler.
Again.
So yeah, at Super Dope Plus Ultra, if you want shit, maybe.
I don't post spoilers
Hinted at.
generally. That was completely accidental. And like I said, if you follow Crunchyroll, then you absolutely already saw this. So
yeah. Also, stop ripping off Crunchyroll, Kelly. Hey, what do you think? What do you think Mineta's pop-off Vineyard operation is?
I don't know. I don't understand. I think that Mineta is the most useless character ever.
So like I know pop-off is like his thing, right?
And it's like grape juice because they're like weird little grapes. So vineyards, I don't know.
When you grow grapes for like wine, an operation. Maybe he's going to pop off a wine operation and look to get the students of Class B drunk, so that way they can easily pop them into the choky.
Gross. Because I feel like if he could get people drunk, he would be either more popular or more creepy. I'm not sure which.
He'd be the perv with ultimate.
Yeah, that people would hang out with just to get drunk, but would be like, yo, I don't like that guy though. Okay.
I mean, I was going to say ultimate power, but then I was like, ooh, the ultimate power that we're talking about here is rape juice.
Yeah, I don't like
rape
that.
Juice. Rape juice.
Bad.
Oh, no, this is terrible. Let's move off the topic.
Yes. Maybe he'll just get, you know how you have to squash grapes to make wine? Maybe he'll just get stomped on a lot.
Maybe. He is pretty short. That fucking diaper, man, gets thicker by the week.
I'm so glad it wasn't just me, because at first I was like, wow, his character design's really strange. And then every time I see him, I'm like, wow, are they doing this on purpose? It looks like a weird diaper, but like with a shelf, like with like,
in case he's got to
thick.
Rest some shit, put his iPhone on it, and he can look down and watch TV.
So weird.
It's like almost like he's trying to protect his balls and butt, or maybe hide his balls and butt, because he's not very comfortable with the size of either.
I mean, didn't they have an episode where they went to a hot springs?
Yeah, and he just spent the whole time trying to climb the wall like a perv.
We saw his butt cheeks, didn't we?
I don't know, did we? Seems like something you clocked and I didn't.
I don't know.
I think you like good old rape juice a little more than you care to admit, Kelly.
No, it's not. No. I mean...
Oh, Jesus.
It's been a long year.
Jesus, Kelly. So Midori is the focus for next week.
Yes. It's going to be the bait.
So Class B's playing for a draw now, because that at least lets them not lose. On the flip side, though, if Class A gets a win or draws, they win.
Yes.
I didn't get that, but I have to imagine that it'll be... I have to imagine Class 1A loses next week, because why bother taking Shinso on this journey from the sports festival, all this shit he did apparently off screen, to now to just have him not get into the hero course and fail this last fight?
I mean, I know that the teachers kind of talk about it a little bit, like, is this going to work again? I was sort of under the impression that it's not really about whether or not his teams win, but more about how useful he is in the fight. Because I feel like if he does really well and they still lose, I still think that they would let him go into the hero course. I don't think it's just dependent on whether or not they win.
It's a good point. Also,
they said he has no experience and stuff.
he already won his first match, right?
First one. So even if he wins one and loses one,
Well, even if
if
he battles it to a draw and there's 2 draws out of these 5 fucking matches and Class 1A still technically wins and he still doesn't technically lose.
And he's not really in 1A or in 1B, so it doesn't matter which team technically wins because he's not really a part of either class.
Nah, but we all know that 1A is the greatest. So
I mean, I would want him to be part of 1A.
And that Monoma is the most ridiculous.
He actually, now that you said that about how he was okay this episode, I do remember that the lizard tail girl was like, I'm so sorry. It was all my fault. And he was pretty chill about it. So
he is he's annoying to us. I say us, like we're part of Class 1A, but
he is annoying to us, though.
True. He's annoying to Class 1A specifically, though, because they're not his class. They're not his people. Mm-hmm. He's the rep. No, is Kendo the rep?
Kendo's the rep.
Kendo's the rep, and he must be like the number 2 guy, right?
I guess.
I feel like that's it. And then also maybe why they get paired a lot. I do like that Kendo is the only person who can keep his ass in line. It's
chop.
Yeah, karate chop. That's some strong number 2 energy. If Kendo being the number 1 is the only one to shut your ass up.
Yes.
But he's very supportive of his class. Tokage. I keep wanting to say Togakure, but that's Tokage is the invisible girl. Tokage. I can't believe I'm bothering committing this stupid girl's name to memory right now. Kuroiro. When the fuck am I ever going to talk about that asshole again?
No, seriously. What was the point?
For real. But anyway, Monoma's very supportive of his class, and then the way in which he tries to integrate, Shinso's plan into everything, and the way they strategize at the end of this episode, he's not that insufferable loudmouth that we typically see him be. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays in battle. I don't think. Have we ever seen Monoma fight to this point?
Not really. We have seen glimpses of him in the sports festival, but never in a head-to-head fight. No.
So I ask that because I wonder how much shit he may or may not talk while he's fighting.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true because he's very dramatic. I almost wonder if we would like him a little bit more if we got to see him in that play.
Romeo and Juliet versus the Mount Dooms bring the ring. What the fuck was
it was Prisoner of Azkaban, Romeo and Juliet to the 10th Kingdom or something like that. Some sort of Star Wars reference.
I think that's how it wrapped up. I
think we would have liked him more if we saw him in that.
I remember when we covered that last year on the Super Dope Dragon Ball Super Dope feed. We all talked about really. We were happy to see the song, Hero 2, this is a hero school, which aren't the words, Kelly, but
it works.
But I remember thinking wow, this song's cool. And I want to see that play.
Me too. And instead we got that beauty contest, which I was not into.
Yeah. I don't like the subjectification of these 15-year-old girls. Japan.
Exactly.
Cut it out. Show me Romeo and Juliet and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Return from the Empire Strikes Back
or something.
Return of the King.
That's what it was. Yes. It was so good.
Fuck. I want to go back and watch that episode right now just so I can see Eerie smile at the end of that arc.
Oh, stop it.
I know. I want to see Eerie and Mirio.
Me too.
I miss them.
I really like art that is Aizawa with all of his little weird ragtag family now where it's Shinso and Eri and Mirio and Aizawa. I just think it's so cute. I love it.
I saw a meme yesterday where it's mostly comic book panels, but there is a shot from the anime. It's Aizawa whenever he's around Principal Nezu. Nezu's just all up in his shit, hanging on his
climbing on him.
But yeah, just sitting on his shoulder like a teddy bear. I've never noticed it until I saw that meme, and it's so funny to me that he's just totally fine with it. As ill-tempered as Aizawa can be sometimes, he's just yeah, whatever, you're a teddy bear, that's fine.
I feel it speaks. I feel I just get the vibe where it's he's tried for many years to get it to stop happening, and he's just given up. You know what I mean?
A lot of practice being Present Mike's best friend when he was a kid. He's definitely built a wall around him to separate himself off from the bullshit. But Present Mike would bust down that wall routinely, so Aizawa just had to get used to it.
So he was like, all right, I'll just stand here and let you like pull on my scarves and stuff.
Kind of adorable.
Whatever.
Kind of adorable.
A bit.
All right. So next week, That Which Is Inherited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
We got anything else for this week? I don't know if I don't think we do.
I don't think so.
I gotta double check my.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, we already talked about that. We don't think Monoma will be able to copy All for One or One for All.
I don't think they would have even mentioned the fact that he has a blank if it wasn't gonna come up, you know?
Although that would have been fun. We'd be like, oh man, he copied Midoriya's. And then it'd be like, next week on Dragon Ball Z, Monoma do the shit. And then he'd be like, do, and he's got a blank expression and shit.
Sure.
Like that sound I just made?
I did.
Yeah. That was in conjunction with my head tilting sideways like I was an anime character in real life. If you want to see that acted out, go to the show notes of this podcast episode and click on the link for YouTube. I would tell you what the YouTube vanity page link is, but that doesn't exist because you haven't subscribed yet. Go do your part and subscribe.
Yeah, go check it out.
Please do that.
Please.
No birthdays today, but we do have a couple of birthdays to, I guess, kind of
coming up
next week, the 28th and the 30th, Ojiro and Aoyama, respectively. So
very nice.
We'll have to maybe rewatch the Cheese episode or something.
Cheese.
And Ojiro had a really dope episode last week, so we could just talk about that.
He really did, yeah. No, he was pretty cool.
Very good. No reviews. You can go leave us a review though if you want. Apple Podcasts. Those reviews are worth their weights in golds. So
it would make us so happy.
Yeah, we'll read it on the show, but also it just helps other people find us. So if you're enjoying the show, we're like 12 or 13 episodes into this thing now. Kind of crazy that we
kind of nuts.
Yeah, we've done a lot in the last couple months. But we appreciate you, the listener, checking this out, hanging with us. If you got to the end here, I feel like you kind of owe us that review, not to guilt you, but I will.
Absolutely. No, that's how it works.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. We guilt people into doing what we got to do. Follow us on Instagram at SuperDope Plus Ultra, and
see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. I know the melody, but I just don't think I've got any good words
for it this time.
Yeah, that. I don't know. You got anything?
No, I cannot make up music.
Me
fucking. Should we just do the bear parts?
Me either. Deku gonna kick some ass, but then no, I don't like that either. This is time. Usually. I fly those through so easily sometimes. Like I
know. Sometimes I'm so impressed, Kyle. I can't even tell you.
Not today though. Apparently that part of my brain is not working.
It's fine.
Bakugo, he kicks some ass, and All Might, he got chills, but he just might have a cold.
Pulled it through at the end.
Yeah, made lemonade out of shit.
It's okay, your butt flap's wet.